and welcome to episode 4 of Tinkering with X, Y, and Z. I'm Aru, I'm your host, and I'm joined with.
I'm Shailendra and I'm the co-host.
Okay, so let's start with what we saw yesterday IPL.
Yes.
Who is our final? Who do we think will make it to the final, and who do you think will win?
Mumbai is not going to make to the final, that's for sure.
Okay, tell me, what are your two teams?
CSK versus DC in the final.
I have the same. I too was going to say CSK and DC, but DC is going to win.
Yeah, I think they might win, but I want CSK to win.
I want DC to win because if it's not Mumbai, I support DC. Yes.
Delhi.
Yes, I
Of
follow
all
Delhi.
places.
Yeah, I follow Delhi because I think over the years I've seen they have a good team. Young players, Rishabh Pant, Shreyas Iyer, everyone stood up and did well. They have Shikhar Dhawan and Prithvi Shaw at the opening.
I like people of my age more. All the way to CSK. CSK
Yeah.
is the team of past and future.
Yeah, Gaikwad played.
Gaikwad is extraordinary.
Last ball 6 that he had was really, really nice.
And he carried his back through. Right
Yes.
from the first ball, he hit a
4.
boundary, and then last ball also hit a boundary. It was good. I think he's got a class,
Yes.
and we're going to see more of him
Yeah.
at higher levels.
Okay.
Okay.
So now the topic. Recently, the big news for today is that Britney Spears is finally free from the
Conservatorship.
conservatorship from her dad, and since 2008 she has been under this, and it was supposed to end in a year, but her dad still had control of her finances, not her life anymore.
But that includes control over life as well.
Yes.
So what you could do with your money, that's the most important.
Yeah, what you could do with the money, and she didn't have control over it. But finally, yesterday itself, it was announced that she now has the power, which is great news. And yeah, I'm happy for her. And
Yeah, but it also points out money management or wealth management as a very serious issue, I would say. And especially for young prodigies or every youngster who starts earning, what to do with money. You can earn it, or you can also spend it, but
Yes.
more importantly, what do you do with it when you have, let's say, more than that you could spend, and
yes.
what do you do with that money? I think that's an important skill, I would say.
And we see it more in these nowadays because we have a lot of young prodigies, like young social media creators, young sports athletes.
Sports.
Exposure is coming very young to money as well, like a lot of money. It's not like a
I
small
know,
amount.
talking about IPL, all these youngsters at 18, 19,
Are sold for crores.
yeah, sold for crores a year, a crore
Yeah,
salary a year.
for 5 weeks. Of
And especially a lot of them young from really small towns in tier 2, tier 3 towns where they would not have seen this kind of wealth.
Yes.
Even from tier 1 town, they might not
Yeah.
have seen this kind of wealth. And what do you do with it? And how do you manage to have a life without getting bothered too much about things like that?
Yeah. So we have someone to talk about that with us right now. Our guest, a friend of Tinker, which is Subhir Jha, and he'll be joining us right now. So let's go.
Subir is a great friend, yeah. He's a great friend, a fellow runner, a fellow resident,
Yes.
and a really dear friend. So
Let's go
Let's
right to the
welcome
let's
Subir.
let's go to that segment now.
okay, so we have Subir with us. Like I said earlier, Subir is a dear friend
Thank you.
and an entrepreneur who works in the area of wealth management.
You were into banking, and you said you struggled with money in early
Both of these things, yeah.
I'm
sharing all the secrets in that
two
sense.
contradicting statements.
No,
Yeah.
there's another angle. I mean, you were managing others' money, but you struggle with your own
Own
money
money.
management.
Yeah, so that's the second part of it. So one is, the habit of saving, and the other is the quality of managing it, right? These are two different things. I suffered with both, It's not initially, so the first problem was there from day one. I used to just kind of live happily, spend whatever money I had first 15 days of the month itself. So it was horrible. I have a presentation that I do with youngsters which is about how I blew my first crore, right? So the money I could have saved in the first 3 years of my life, that at 40 would have become a crore.
Yes. So it's not crore at that time.
Yeah, okay.
This power of compounding, I don't know how can you teach compounding to people? That
Yeah.
chess example is there, but what else could be done to teach people about power of compounding in that sense?
And it's amazing. I think I was talking to you about it yesterday that people understand absolutes much better, right? That if I tell you, I'll ask you this. Don't be nervous about this, but the thing is, in a fixed deposit,
Yeah.
you get say, typically say not these days, but generally you used to get 8%, right? And in an equity stock market product, you would get say a 12%, right? But in a stock market fund, you might get a 30-40% downside, right? Your money might go from 100 to 60, right? Then a lot of people say, ki, Q, why do we need to take this risk for 4%? Right?
Right.
It seems a very sensible question to ask. Ki, for this 4%, why should I take the headache of a 40-50% sometimes money my
Right.
value going down? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where the compounding comes in. If you have a crore of rupees, 10 years at 8%, what do you think will become in compounding? Any wild guesses, okay? They're not right.
8% per annum?
Compounding, yes.
8% per annum. It'll be quite high.
This is a short video.
Yeah.
So
It's good.
let me kind of
Yeah.
take it up for you. It will double itself to 2.1. Okay. At 12%, the same money in 10 years, what would that become?
112.
Yeah, so 1 crore, 8% became 2.1 in 10 years. At 12%, it will become 3 crores. 1 crore difference because of this 4%.
Yeah.
I know you're still not impressed. Ki it's a 50% difference in absolute, but still
Yeah.
कि
एक करोड़ ही।
1 करोड़ ही हुआ ना. अब बताओ कि अगर दिस 1 crore at 8% for 20 years, अब ये क्या बनेगा? 1 से 10 साल में बन गया 2.1 crore, तो नेक्स्ट 10 years में कितना बन जाएगा?
Double.
Double again.
So 4.2. अब 12% पे कितना बनेगा? 3 crore बना था. So how much will it become in the next 10 years at 12%?
You add another 12.
तो ये बन जाएगा 9 crores. 3 times. 3.
It will become thrice.
4 and 9. Because it grew by 3x in 10 years. It will
Yes.
again grow by 3x in 10 years, right?
Yes.
So 1 became 3, 3 became 9.
Yeah.
So, okay? So 1 became 2, 2 became 4.
Yeah.
4 and 9.
Now the
Now
number becomes
yeah.
5 crores.
So in 20 years, right? And if you start saving at 24, 25, people think कि 20 साल बहुत दूर है.
Yeah.
But I still remember my MBA is like back of the day, right? So I was being 15, 16 years. So 20 years is not much. I keep saying people that 3 places is where people put a lot of money in this country, which is, one is real estate, right? Second is gold. Where do you think is the third place people put their money, most money in India? I'm saying not the FDs and something
Okay.
apart from that.
With themselves, अपने पास ही.
LIC.
LIC?
LIC gets a lot of money. Life
अच्छा,
insurance corporation.
insurance.
Yes. Now, why do you think people put in money in LIC? And I think I don't know if I can say this on camera, but again, I think I can say this.
I
Who
can
cares?
say everything.
Yeah. So people put money in LIC because LIC sells you a 20-year policy. You lose your kind of power of understanding in 20 years.
Yeah.
तो क्या होता है ना कि human, if I tell you 1 lakh rupees for 20 years if you invest, it will give you after 20 years 50,000 rupees per month for remaining part of your life.
Yeah.
What happened? You calculated 1 lakh today's value. You calculated 50,000 also as today's value,
Correct.
not 20 years. And that's the secret sauce of LIC success. Numbers, right? Of today, and you even if you think inflation, you'll never think 50,000's value might become 25,000, right? But it'll actually become like 8,000 or 10,000, less than that of today's value.
Yeah.
So compounding and how money loses its value, inflation.
Yeah.
These two are for me, I think, and the third one, which I think every youngster should learn, is about delayed gratification
Delayed
versus
gratification.
instant
Yeah.
gratification. My favorite topic.
I've heard about it. I don't know. I think.
So I think if people want to learn in a fun manner, is the famous marshmallow experiment. You can go to YouTube,
Yes.
Google,
Seen that.
marshmallow
We'll
experiment.
put the links down.
Yeah, so there is the lot of research on that. So it's basically that in your life you have to decide how much you want to consume immediately and how much you can delay it.
Yeah.
It's like if I have 100 rupees to spend, if I can manage with 50 rupees and 50 rupees I can put to work and leave it for the remaining part of my life later on. I think that's the approach. I'm not for delaying all gratifications. I think that would also kind of be like, and especially after Corona, you also want to live your life
as much
as possible. But then people always, you'll have many people on this side of the argument that who has seen tomorrow, right?
Yes.
I keep telling people you don't want to find that out,
Yeah. That's
right?
true.
So it's very interesting. Everything in finance, whatever is good for the economy, at an individual level is not good for you, most of it.
Yes.
You know, it's like American economy thrives on consumerism.
Yeah.
We are now, you know, that
Getting
kind of
into
route, and it's
that more.
important. You know, be very happy when people consume. I am very happy when people consume, right? Because then companies grow and make wealth.
Yes.
But personally, for you, it's not great. I think there's one equation that I like, and if when you start earning, if you remember that is, generally we all do this: income minus expenditure is equal to investment. Basically, meaning that if I get a salary in the beginning of the month, I will invest, not save. There's a difference between saving and investment. Please go and check that out as well. Difference between Indians are great savers but not great investors. So difference between whatever is left after spending is what I want to invest, right, or save. Instead, you do income minus investment is equal to my expenditure. So whatever is left after I save
After I invest,
save and invest is what I go and spend. It's a very, very powerful habit to get into. So first try and invest. So what I do is something very basic is if you are going to earn, finish all your SIPs in the beginning of first 5 days. Right? It works like magic. And investing is not about intelligence. You will want this to be about intelligence. This is not at all about intelligence. Don't try and seek any high or kick out of it. And that is biggest thing that will kind of be the impediment to creating wealth.
it is boring.
It should be boring.
It should be boring. You
in
don't.
that sense.
I mean, if you need excitement, go for a trek.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Go for a
Yeah.
trek. Yeah.
And-
Or run a marathon.
Yes. Again, I don't think many would find that interesting, but yeah, that also. But my favorite thing that I tell to youngsters is, and I keep saying this, that most good things in life are boring. If you're able to overcome and find your peace with boredom, you'll do well in life.
So now coming to your recommendation that you have for
This is one of my favorite books, a great book, Psychology of Money, in that sense, written by Morgan Housel, and this has, I think it's a great primer for anybody to wanting to invest and save. You don't look for stock tips. This is not about mathematical models.
Yes.
It's about anecdotes and stories. And I'll end up with one, very nice anecdote in this book, which is about, there was this party thrown by a hedge fund manager, and there are these two writers in that party. And if I remember the name correct, one of them is Joseph Heller, who wrote this very popular book called Catch-22. And his friend tells him, this guy who is throwing a party makes more money in a day that you would have made on your very popular book, Catch-22, right? And this guy kind of thinks and says, yeah, but there is one thing I have which he does not, and which is enough.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, doing enough.
Okay.
That's great.
Great stuff. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you for
Thank you.
joining us.
It was a pleasure, and I hope people don't doze off.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice conversation. It was
Yeah,
very
very
insightful.
good.
Yeah, a lot of
Very
things I didn't know myself. It was just nice to
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
a good way to learn stuff as well. I think
Yes.
one of the things that we have to focus in this podcast also is could we get learning opportunities in this?
Yes, yeah.
It should always be a net positive.
Yeah, I think I took away quite a few new things. This is a fairly new subject for me as well, because we didn't learn it in school, which is I think one more thing which should be introduced. That in school curriculum itself, it should be introduced. That I feel like I shouldn't be in this state where I don't know what he was talking about, which was pretty, I think, basic.
It is very basic.
very
the idea of
basic.
compounding and stuff like that, delayed gratification and all, especially
Yes.
in financial decision making, is something which is very basic.
Basic, yeah, and it should be. And now, what do you think are the different ways in which we can improve financial literacy?
I think, like you correctly identified, we should introduce it at school level itself, and then continue it in college, in higher education,
Yeah.
even for new employees or when
Yeah.
people start working. It should be a continuing education kind of program.
Yeah, and also I recently read up a little bit about it and saw that RBI actually has initiatives about for increasing financial literacy, because even though we have like about 80% literacy in India, there's only 23% financial literacy among those 80%, and India constitutes of like 20% of the world population. So
Correct.
that is such a small number of people who are financially literate. There's a lot of money coming and people don't know what to do with it. So RBI has nice initiatives which were supposed to be implemented by March 2021.
They haven't been.
It haven't been, and people don't even know about them. So there's no one is like talking about it, which might have motivated the government to accelerate and do something about it. So I think we should ourselves equip with it, but even the government needs to, I think, push this initiative because it looked very interesting. The content part of it was introducing it in curriculum in school and colleges, like they did with environmental science. It's a compulsory subject
Disaster
now.
management. as
Disaster
well.
management, it's a compulsory subject, and it's an important life skill to have. It is not it can be a specialization, but in general life
No, it does.
everyone needs
Everybody
it.
needs it.
Everybody needs it. So I think next they should look at financial literacy to introduce in curriculums.
I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. Okay. So now coming to the ecstasies.
Ecstasy, X to Z and Z to X.
Yeah. What is your recommendation for today?
And like you correctly said, that financial literacy, idea about financial products, how do you use them to improve your life, your family's life, your household's life. I think that is very important. Fortunately for us, we've got people like Subir and others
Yeah.
who can help us.
Yeah.
But a large part of our population, really poor people, have been suffering a lot because of financial literacy in that sense.
Yeah.
And my recommendation is a book. It's called Poor Economics. It's by Nobel laureates of Indian origin,
Yeah.
Abhijit Banerjee and Astrid Duflo. And they talk about multiple experiments to understand as to why poor remain poor and why they become even more poorer.
Yeah.
And they talk about multiple problems in terms of access to finance, but also in terms of understanding financial instruments,
Yeah.
the long-term game of financial instruments. So I think this is a terrific book, very well researched, but in very simple words, I would say. So there's no maths in this. There's no maths in this. There's no
Which
stats in
usually
this.
scares people away.
Yes, but it is not in there. It is collection of wonderful work that they themselves and others have done across the world. Poor economics.
Yeah. Now,
What's yours?
my recommendation is this book. It's called Behavioral Economics. It's by Dan Early. It's called Behavioral Economics Saved My Dog, and I usually, like you said, the numbers and the data kind of pulls me away and kind of bores me, as you say. But boring should not drive you away. It's a new lesson we learn. But this book is. I think one thing that Subir uncle talked about was how we don't have an interactive way of putting these concepts through to people.
Correct.
And that's why there are not many youngsters who are able to learn about it, because there's no interactive and interesting way to learn about it. But this book was interesting and interactive, that there was like funny stories, and he has a very good sense of humor where he puts forward economic or like financial problems that people are facing. So he takes a problem that has been sent to him and then he solves it, or he gives them advice on it. So it was on in retirement or just managing day-to-day finances, and it was a great book. It was like Tim Harford says, addictive and life-changing. It was a brilliant book, and I think
Life-changing is more important.
it is a very well-written book, like with anecdotes and stories and jokes, and puts the idea through. So I think like if youngsters are looking for a book to read, this is definitely coming from a youngster. I think everyone will enjoy this. A youngster will enjoy it. If you want to just learn about the basics of economics, it's a very basic, simple book.
Behavioral economics.
You'll laugh reading it because of some funny takes on different issues. But it's a great book, and this is my recommendation.
Great stuff. Thank you very much for that.
Yes. So signing off. This was our episode on financial literacy. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe. And also, we talked about IPL. So, comment down below who you think will be the 2 final teams and who do you think will win this IPL. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.